7 ways to defend yourself against a fighter twice your size. Have you ever wondered what you would do if you find yourself in a fighting situation where your opponent is twice your size? Remember that on the street, there is nothing like weight class or rules, so you are immediately at a disadvantage. Size truly does matter in a fight, but that doesn't mean that you're helpless when faced with bigger opponents. You only need to understand how to defend yourself and make the fight go in your favor. So here are 7 ways to defend yourself against a fighter twice your size. But before we continue, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Brutal TV for more helpful fighting tips like this one. Number 1. He who runs away lives to fight another day. When you're faced with a bigger opponent in a street fight, the first thing you should consider is how to avoid the fight. You're not in a competition, and there are no prizes for winning, so why risk your life in the first place? Street fights often get bloody and are dangerous. You might get injured or even lose your life if the assailant is armed and under the influence of hard drugs. So before you even think of fighting, find out if there's a way you can avoid the fight. Now, this might seem easy, but it's not. To turn your back against your opponent and run is equally dangerous. Find out if you can make peace and persuade them not to attack. But if fighting is truly the only option remaining, keep watching this video to find out how to defend yourself. Number 2. Maintain a safe distance. Unlike a regulated fight in the ring, you wouldn't have enough time to prepare for a street fight. So one of the best ways to buy enough time until you figure out your next move is to create a safe distance between you and your attacker. A safe distance is any range outside the reach of your opponent. This will also help you slow the pace down while you look for the right opportunity to engage. But in most cases, the assailant is going to be charging at you like some berserk maniac, so you have to decide your next move as soon as possible. Number 3. Hit them where it hurts the most. You don't want to be exchanging punches with a bigger opponent. They are more powerful than you are, and a single blow from them can knock you out. So you don't want to take the risk. Instead, look for the perfect opportunity to hit them at any of their most vulnerable parts. While this is not legal in an organized fighting situation, it will buy you enough time to escape to safety in a street fight. Some of the most vulnerable parts include the face, especially the eyes and the nose, the throat, and the groin. If you can also deliver a timely strike to the assailant's sensory organs like the liver, you will leave them temporarily stunned. Remember that you should only use this move when necessary, as it can be lethal. Only use it to enable you to get away from the scene. Number 4. Hit as hard as you can. It may surprise you to learn that you should be the one to throw the first punch when faced with a bigger opponent. If you let them have the chance to throw the first punch, that might be the end for you. However, you want to make sure that you hit as hard as possible. Inflict as much pain as you can on them, and then don't stop until you overpower them. Once you relent, they will quickly regain their strength and attack you. Again, if you cannot hit them, but have the opportunity to have them in a submission hold, don't let go until they surrender. And don't forget, you should not continue hitting an unconscious opponent. Your goal is to escape the situation and not kill them. Number 5. Stick to your advantages. Many people don't know that being the smaller opponent comes with its own advantages. If you stick to your advantages, you will bring in elements of surprise that will help you easily defeat your attacker. Now, one of the downsides of being bigger is that it requires more effort to move and you run out of energy faster. So as the smaller opponent, use this to your advantage by moving constantly and changing your position. as your opponent pursues you, they would burn out and become more vulnerable. This is the best point to deploy your arsenal. If you're an accurate kicker, kick the attacker. If you know how to deliver deadly punches, hit them hard. And as you've learned already, the best way to do this is to hit them where it hurts the most and hit them as hard as you can. Number 6, get ready to break some rules. The bigger opponent on the street probably doesn't have any moral ethics. That means they are probably not going to abide by any set of rules which may be applicable in an organized fight. So, if your opponent isn't going to stick to the rules, you better get ready to break some or get broken. The only important thing you should consider at this point is your safety. So be prepared for anything, including fighting with a weapon if necessary. Also, be ready to use some moves that you might otherwise consider dirty, such as eye gouging or kicking your opponent below the belt. And if you're not sure whether to break some rules, here are some reasons why you should reconsider. Your opponent might be under the influence of alcohol or drugs. They might be armed and don't care about rules. Your safety is the priority, and you might need to defend yourself with a weapon. Number 7, learn a martial art for self-defense. Here at Brutal TV, we have some videos on the best martial arts that are good for self-defense in a real fight. It is best to be prepared before an actual fight so that you can learn to defend yourself when running away is not an option. There are many of them, and you can watch our previous videos, but here are some you should consider. Muay Thai. This is a fighting style that originated in Thailand and is one of the most effective for a street fight. The good thing about it is that it teaches you how to defend yourself even if your attackers are armed. Krav Maga. This is the official martial arts used by the Israeli army, and it is effective in most situations, including when faced with a bigger opponent. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Last but not least is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. This fighting style teaches you moves that you can use to overpower your opponent even when you're on the floor. You can also learn various submission holds to force your attacker to surrender. Have you ever been in a fight with a bigger opponent? Tell us about how you defended yourself in the comment section. Thanks for watching the video. We'll see you next time.